think people are like they're wanting Nintendo to be that hardcore gaming device, but who's saying they aren't? That's the thing. Like, who's saying they're not
No.
into the
They
gaming?
want
They
they
are
want
into the gaming.
Nintendo they want Nintendo to be the hard to support the hardcore stuff. And
Do you
I think
think if do you think if let's say let's just say big ones, even though like Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy or America Solid or something like a multi-plat game, let's say whatever come on Xbox One and thing. Let's say like the Wii U had Forza or something like that. Do you really think it would really change the game for Nintendo? Because honestly, I don't think it really would. Yes, it would help in their
it would
sales, but it wouldn't. It wouldn't make them.
it wouldn't, and they could have had more of the multi-platform games, but people act like those multi-platform games would have sold the system, but realistically, I don't think it would have because
Why?
like
It's just
even
another system. Then the only reason people are deciding between the PS4 and the Xbox One because what does this one do differently than the other one? Then why should I
exactly
pick this one? So that's exactly what's going on with Nintendo. Nintendo is this third one. Okay, why should I choose Nintendo compared to these? Because they do things differently. If they do the same things as the others, then there's no decision, and it might as well just be one console. It's the point of like competition and doing
yeah.
things differently. Why would Nintendo do what the others do? Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't go out and get third party support more and stuff like that and advertise. Yes, that's fine, that's important. But it shouldn't be harped on and it shouldn't be like oh, I hate Nintendo until we get this stuff. Like you should still there's still stuff that Nintendo has that the other guys don't. So why isn't Sony and Microsoft people being like, well, why aren't we getting Miiverse on our Xbox One? Like
I think part of the problem is most gamers are too focused on being the fanboys to really sort of go, hey, that's a cool feature, because none of them want to admit anything good about a new game because
because they
they're like,
care too
oh,
much about their console, so any other
yeah,
console sucks dick and fucking shit all over it because it does. It's not an Xbox. So
exactly. That's the thing. It's like the majority of people aren't that into the console wars, but it's like you've got a large amount of people who, you know, they're not going to admit that the other that oh that's a pretty cool feature because they're too busy having like
they're too busy wanting the
fighting
features that the
art
others
wars.
have. Right? Let's say they added achievements. Let's say they got the third party support. Let's say they did everything the other systems did. Right? Okay. I mean, yeah, it may get people to buy a Nintendo then just because, you know, the only people that would help is the people who do love Nintendo, but they wish it just offered more. Okay, that still
Yeah,
doesn't help the other. Like, let's say he loves Sony, right, or he loves
yeah.
Microsoft. It
He's
it
still
will
gonna buy it
not
unless
make them
they
buy a Wii U because it does the same things that the Xbox
because it
does.
has achievements. Like you're not gonna convince someone by just saying it has achievements. Like I've never seen someone go, that console has achievements. I'm gonna buy it because of that.
Yeah, if
You know,
anything, I'm gonna buy it because it has the gamepad. I'm gonna buy it because it has better graphics. Or I'm gonna buy
games.
it because it has certain games I want. It's really big defining things like that, and these I don't know these little differences between the PS4 and Xbox One are they really like? Besides the graphical power, but even still, it's not that much of a leap between Xbox One and the PS4. Yeah, the PS4 is a little stronger, but that's not what's the deciding factor. The deciding factor in their head is, oh, what do my friends play on? And oh, I have all this backlog with my Xbox like account in terms of games and stuff like that. Oh, I have this backlog of the PS4 stuff. And it's the same for Nintendo people though. Like I have a backlog. Whenever I got the Wii U, I was able to get all my virtual console stuff go into Wii mode. Yeah, technically I wish they would just mash it into the actual Wii U itself, but I can still access all my games that I had on my Wii and anything I downloaded right there on my Wii U as well. I mean,
Yeah.
if anything, Nintendo is the best and when it comes to like their backlog catalog and being able to play on the new system.
Nintendo is the only one that has backwards compatibility at this point.
Well, and can go back 20 years and you can play something. Like,
Yeah, like you know, PlayStation and Xbox have both Microsoft have both said they're not got backwards compatibility, and the only possibility at this point is possibility having the games on the cloud, but you're gonna have to buy them. It doesn't matter whether you had them previously or not.
okay, well, let's talk about the features that the Wii U and the 3DS. Basically, what Nintendo offered that the others don't. Okay, here's a list. Okay, first of all, you have the big one, Miiverse, which
Miiverse is fantastic.
a lot of people don't really know about it. That's the thing. Let's say they have an Xbox or they have a PS3. Not that they're a fanboy. They just have the system, and they don't really know about it because they don't advertise Miiverse, right? But I mean, you go on there, you're playing a game, and you're like, oh man, something really awesome is happening. You hit the home button, you go to Miiverse, and it takes you straight to the community, right? That game. Let's say in Call of
Yeah,
Duty, it'll take you
definitely.
straight to the Call of Duty community, and you're just seeing post and post of like people talking about the game, people sharing screenshots, whatever. You go to post, you upload the screenshot, you say whatever you want to say, and there's actually discussion. It's not a dead forum. There's people replying back and forth with literally every post. There's so many people on that thing. It's actually very alive.
Yeah,
And
it
I
is.
mean, and that's just that Call of Duty community. And then you have every single game, their community. It's not just the game may support it. It supports with every Wii U game. So you go in the communities, whatever game you're playing, even the virtual console games, you bring up the community, you can discuss about it, and people are making art about it. People are discussing it. People are sharing screenshots. It's bringing a community together, and it's an amazing feature that the other guys do
Yeah,
not offer at all.
and it's like people getting stuck at points, rather than going to the effort, rather than having to go to a walkthrough, they can go, hey, can anyone give me some advice with this?
And you can get a
And
reply in a minute or two, being like,
yeah,
"Yeah,
exactly.
I'm stuck and I can't find this. I can't find this switch to open this freaking door. Where the hell is it at?" And
Yeah,
somebody would be
and then
like,
someone
"Dude,
just goes,
like
oh,
look to
you
your
just go
left,
there.
like it's right fucking there." And they're like, "Oh shit!" And they fucking go and continue on. And having that feedback, that's awesome. Comparing to have to even with the awesome internet browser, right? Let's say you're stuck and you want to open up the internet browser, look at a YouTube video, or even just look through a guide and figure out what to do next.
Yeah,
And
it's
that
like it's happening while your game's paused.
yeah, and then the
Like
very
you
moment
just
you
go,
hop right back into the game and you whatever you saw you did, and then you continue on. Anyway,
yeah, exactly.
so you have that feature, and that's awesome. And they're actually bringing that, like we saw in the Nintendo Direct today, which a lot of people probably
Yeah,
don't know, but they're bringing it to the 3DS. So you're gonna have that awesome feature in the 3DS. That's a huge thing. Um, so that aside, right now they're finally doing the account as one. That was one of the biggest things, and they're finally going to that. So on the 3DS, you're going to actually be able to make a network ID like you can with the Wii U. So instead of having
yeah,
friend codes, you actually have a network ID like mine, Tim6043, and all your account stuff, like you purchase game, whatever, it's on that account, and it's with your actual Nintendo ID now. Instead of locked to a friend code, locked to your system, you get rid of your system, your shit's gone. So all that's gone too and fixed. And I'm telling Nintendo is realizing what the other guys are doing, and they are following. They are really good when it comes to their online. People just don't know because the word's not out because no one really has a system, and everyone's just not like it. Nintendo just has one flaw. They don't know how to advertise. They don't know how to show what they have. But the very moment you have
yeah,
the system and you see it, you see that it's amazing. They just
yeah. It's like it's like one of the major things with a lot of my friends is I've shown them the Wii U. Like, we'll get together and I'll bring the Wii U over to, and we'll play. You know, we'll have a, I'll share it around,
yeah,
show
yeah.
everyone what it can do, and all my friends were like, "Yeah, this is a great system,"
Yeah,
but no
I've
one
done the
knows
same.
about it
I
because
bring
of
someone over. That's what I do because so many people don't know. I literally like purposely like, dude, just come over, like let's hang out. And I whip out the Wii U and I just start talking about, showing them all the stuff, and they're freaking out. They're like, they have a PS3, they have an Xbox. They're like, dude, this is awesome. Like, why didn't I know of this? And just
Yeah,
having that secondary screen, like, it's a way bigger deal than what people think it is. Like, okay, you'll say you're playing Batman Arkham City. You have to fucking hit pause every time, look through the menus, look at the map,
no,
hit pause again, just so you can go to where you need to go. The map's right there on the bottom screen the whole time. You don't have to hit pause
exactly.
fucking at all.
Yeah, I
You can
really love
change your
that feature.
equipment on the fly. You don't have to hit pause, find a certain item, equip it, go right back into the game. You're just sliding. There you go. Like,
Yeah,
it's on the fly with everything. I mean, that's a huge feature. Like, that's something nobody's ever done. And why isn't this getting talked about? Why isn't this getting like blown up on the internet? Like, oh my god, this is the best thing. Because it is one of the best things that came to game in how many, 20, 30 years the game existed. You've never been able to, like, on the fly just change stuff because you never had a second screen to be able to access to do that. You've always had to interrupt your game to be able to change a system, change a setting, change an item, whatever. That's gone now. That doesn't exist anymore. That's a thing of the past, a problem of the past.
and off TV play as well. Like that's a great feature
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
That's
I mean, I could play Call of Duty laying on my bed, just do full HD, right there in the palm of my hands, and it's actually a bit better. I was reading an article because you hold it about, what, I don't know. Let's see, it's a 7-inch screen. You're holding it really not that far from it. It's about the equivalent of literally if you're couch distance and it's at like a 52-inch TV. That's literally the equivalent right there. So you're being able, if you're especially a shooter, you can see everything like really easily, and it makes things a whole lot better, especially at shooting games, to be able to like aim
yeah,
and
and
actually
it's
see
like
things and target.
if I wanna continue, like I live, you know, for people who live with family or roommates and whatnot, it's fantastic because it's like you no longer have to fight people for the TV. You
Yeah.
can just play it.
A
Like
lot of
you can
people think
just
that's a gimmick and like, oh well, I normally have access to my TV. You'll be surprised how much more access you'll have to your game system than what you think. I didn't think that would be a big thing. I was like, well, I have access to my TV. I'm not really worried about the off play. I play off play 90% of the time I'm on the console. Like, I hardly ever use my TV, and I never thought that would be the case. And I'm HD gaming without having to need my television. I mean, that's huge. Like, I use the feature way more than I thought I would.
yeah, exactly. Like
Because people just
it's
randomly
just
come over and they want to, like, they want to be entertained, watch a movie, whatever the case may be, and you're sitting there playing a video game during the whole time on the big screen and just wasting it. Like, people want to see into something else. So you can sit there and play your game as they're watching whatever the hell they want to watch. And being able, it actually, if anything, causes just more friend interaction, more things going on. Again, like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. So, you got that the off screen and Miiverse, and the count thing is finally going on. Uh, what else? I mean, the biggest thing is the games. Okay, like,
Yeah,
I have a PC, right, and then it's high spec. I have Battlefield 4. I'm waiting to play Assassin's Creed, Black Flag. I'm looking forward to it and all this. But realistically, I'm playing these, like, Bioshock Infinite, stuff like that. I'll play like 30 minutes an hour, and I get kind of bored. And it's like, it doesn't excite me. Like, I don't know, like, these huge, epic, awesome games. Like, it's really nice to look at, and they are fun, but it just doesn't hook me as much as, like, if I can. I don't know why that's the case, but I can sit there and pull up my 3DS and play Pokemon for like 4 hours straight and not feel bored at all. Like, actually feel really fun and accomplished the whole time I'm playing. And then I go and play. Maybe that's just my interest in games kicking in, but I have a PC for a reason. I mean, I would never want to get rid of my PC and have the ability to play these, like, awesome games, and they look fantastic. But at a point, like, you still just kind of want to have a fun, good experience with a video game. It's not it's not always just about the graphics, but the graphics help. Yeah, they do. Like Zelda in HD, hell fucking yeah. But it's still Zelda. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's still a good game regardless. And no matter if Pokemon was 1080p, it would be better. But it's still Pokemon, and it's still a great game. They just have these awesome things they can service you with and play without having to. I don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, there's just something about Nintendo's games have always been just, how can I put it? Like, just like whenever I play like a Zelda or a Mario or even like games like Metroid and that, it's almost always like I can almost always rely on those games to be like fun, like
But it's not
just
even
without
fun. It's like one of the best experiences, like in gaming.
yeah,
Whenever you play it, like you're
they're
totally
always
indulged.
like it's funny how much like you can say a lot about whether or not you like certain like things like Skyward Sword and that, but the fact is, all of Nintendo's game are always like all the games are almost always really well done, both technically and from a structural point. There's very rare. It's very rare
Yeah,
for you to find glitches in a
it
Nintendo game.
isn't this like kiddie fun gimmicky. Like no, when you play Skyward Sword or you play Metroid 3, it's a huge epic experience, and not just epic. Because when I think epic now, I just think the Battlefield 4, like it looks amazing played, but an hour later, like, are you really having as much fun as you would if you were playing Kirby? Like, I don't know, but that's the thing. Like, you generally are just more like into a game, like with Nintendo. I don't know why. Like, but every little detail, they do everything so fine. Like when you're playing Metroid 3, like the the art and the graphics in that are like stunning. Like, and it's a Wii game,
Are
and you're
you referring
expecting so.
Metroid 3? Are you referring to Metroid Prime
Metro
3 or
Prime
Super
3, sorry,
Metroid?
Metro Prime
I
3.
was gonna I was gonna say because I was like, wait, Metroid 3 Super Metroid. I
Yeah,
mean that game does still look
yeah.
great,
I mean,
but
obviously, right.
it's not quite.
I got that game with the little 30 cent thing, and
Yeah,
when I was a kid, I was definitely around at that time in Super Metroid. I remember like friends having it and stuff, but I was I guess when I was a kid, like I just wasn't into it. I don't know, and I never got into Super Metroid, which is weird because I love the Metro Prime series, and I actually got into the GBA one too, like Zero Mission, I think is what it's called. But in Super Metroid, it's supposed to be one of the best games like ever. And anyway, so I never got into it, but so I got it for 30 cent, and I really like I gotta get into this because I love Metroid, and I finally started playing it, and once I finally just broke that ice and just really sat down and kept forcing myself to play it, about 3 or 4 hours into it, and I ended up having to like watch like a lot of YouTube like tutorials, like this is where you get this, where you get that. Whenever I actually knew what I was doing, then I was actually starting to have fun. Next thing I know, I didn't want to see how to do it next because I wanted to figure it out and I wanted to, and I finally got into that
yeah,
mode, and I got really far in that game. I have yet to complete it, but I actually really, really love it now, and I'm just like, fuck, like I wish I would have actually got into this as a kid. Anyway, so the point I'm saying though is Nintendo, it does, it just, the games have a magic. They do. Like, no one
yeah.
else can do it. No one else can. I mean, you could,
It's like Pixar.
yeah, it really is. Like you can sit there and like talk about like, yeah, this movie, let's say Transformers, has way better special effects than Bugs Life or something, but it's, I don't know, they just, the amount of detail again, like Pixar does, every little thing has a backstory. Every little thing has so much just fine art detail. Every little thing, like every pixel matters to them, which is probably why Pixar. But and Nintendo does the same thing. Like, and so the Wii was always getting
There's
bashed because it wasn't HD. But look what they did with Mario
the
Galaxy.
yeah,
It was,
like the
it looked
games.
better than 360 and PS3 games. Like,
Yeah, I think the best way to describe it is Nintendo games. You can always, when you're playing them, you can always tell the amount of effort and care put into building the world and the gameplay and all that. Like, certain games, like, you can, like, regardless of whether or not you enjoy them or not, there's certain games
yeah,
that you go to play them and you can tell straight away that, it's being made to make, like, just to make money. Like, there's certain games that like you start it up and it's like, buy this DLC and like you start playing it and it might be short or it might be, missing things. Like you can tell with some games they're just made to make money, whereas Nintendo's games have always, and there are other companies that do this obviously, but Nintendo's games have always had this sort of, like, you can tell how much they care about how much effort they've put into every single detail.
Another, I guess, company where think of like WayForward.
Yeah,
They
way for it.
they
That's
definitely do that, and
It's
there's
one of those things where it's like you can tell, like DuckTales Remastered, for example, it's got the same sort of thing where it's like all the detail that they've put into the littlest things. Like you can see how much they love what they're
yeah. I
working on,
mean,
how much
the only
they
issue with
care about that.
DuckTales is like the original game. Yeah, it's great, and they even improved the original game. But was it really that great of a game? That's the only thing. Like DuckTales Remastered, like they did such an amazing job with it. But I just think the game in general, like it just isn't that good of a game. But the
I
the the
really enjoyed
the
DuckTales
way that
Remastered.
the way they cared about it though, and the way they just took the
Yeah,
extra
the
effort.
original, the original, I definitely like. It's not as good as it's not one of the as good as
I
people
think
think it is.
they hype it a little too high. I mean, obviously, like,
But
but
DuckTales Remastered, like everything from getting the original voice cast,
no,
the
yeah, all those
graphical
details are
style,
great. What I'm saying is the actual like the gameplay, like you going through the levels, the level design, the level, um, what you're the the way you attack, the way you do that sort of like game. Like I just feel
yeah,
wasn't that strong at the core initially, so they improved
like
a ton, but the game like it's still like
like yeah, they couldn't like change it too much without fundamentally changing
yeah, it's not like they could
what
get him a
the game
gun,
was.
you know, like, it just um, uh, but
It's just one of but it's like for a remake, you can tell how much care and how much how much they appreciate, like not only the original but also the TV series, and you know like
it's kind of like what they did.
it's
Telltale Games did with Walking Dead. They literally just
yeah,
improved it. That's all they did. But still, it's still zombies. You know, like at the end of the day, whenever you play what they have now, The Wolf Among Us, it's a way better game for one reason. It's not about zombies anymore because zombies are overkill or dead. We're over it now. And when they take their creative, awesome like attention to detail and really how they go through a story and apply it to
when they do it with
a new
something
thing,
new.
yeah, then you really start to see, oh my god, these guys are way better than what I even initially thought because I was so overkilled by the zombies, I couldn't really take it in as much as I would love to. So again, like there's other companies out there that sort of have this magic, but I just feel like when it
Nintendo is like
like
they
they're
do that.
kings at
They
it, like no one even comes close to they're just I don't know. Maybe it's
yeah
just the way Japanese people are. Like they're so disciplined and they're so like they study 24/7 and they're such a like a they care about everything like to the extremes way too much. I mean they dedicate restaurants and their whole
um,
social lives to a single video game or a single anime
yeah
and
so
so I think they
yes.
care more for their video game products than we do because we just have other things going on and we have interest in other things and so, our society and our mindset isn't completely like Battlefield Call of Duty things we
I mean,
still like
there are certain exceptions, Capcom, but like that's actually fun because that's kind of the opposite with Capcom, because Capcom America has been trying
they're
to do
losing their
all
magic
these.
is what they're doing.
No, Capcom. It's not Capcom America's fault because they just publish games, so they've been trying
Yeah.
to do lots of stuff. Like they got in touch with that guy to make that Mega Man vs Street Fighter game official. They made the Archie comic crossover. They got him in Smash Bros. Like they've done a lot of stuff, and they're working on. They've gotten a whole bunch of Mega Man like bands to get together to make an album for the 25th anniversary. It's like they're trying their best because
because
It's
they're in
really
shit
Capcom
right
Returns.
now. They're
Yeah,
in
because
panic mode.
it's like a lot of the bad decisions I think are from Capcom of Japan at the moment. Like just because Capcom America and Europe to an extent, it's like they localize. You know, they can't make games.
It's like
They
the
don't.
Nintendo of America. They try their
Yeah,
best with what they're given and stuff like that.
given.
But when it comes out to it, though, like it's still they still aren't marketing it as. But I don't know. Their marketing team, like I think it. I don't know. I think they still just need a new marketing team. Like they do try hard, but the issue is like they need to change their philosophy. They need to stop worrying about like I
Yeah,
don't know. Nintendo Directs are great. It's a great surprise news. Awesome. I actually love them. But the problem is like the whole
they're not.
dropped
Yeah,
out of E3. Really, like I don't know.
I like. I reckon that was a bit over the like just because like they were still at E3.
Yeah. Well, and what they did at
Like they
E3
were
was
still
amazing.
there.
The whole little booth thing, like that was incredible. Like,
They
but they
still had
still
those
could have
big
done a
booths
show.
there.
They still could have done a presentation to the audience and showed all this stuff they were doing at their booth. It really would have been enough. But anyway, whatever, whatever,
I
whatever.
think I don't know.
We're
Let's see.
going off topic
Where we're
here. But
off.
but you know, what else does Nintendo do that the others don't? I mean, there's a ton. There's a ton of reasons. We can sit here and think about what all they do compared to the other things, and but why? Again, the main issue is why aren't these other people? You know that I guess your reason's right. The reason why this Xbox player isn't talking about that stuff because it would only be important if Xbox did it. If Xbox did all this shit that the Wii U just did, it would sell through the roofs. People would be talking about it 24/7, stuff like that. Because Xbox, it's America. Well, at least for us, and
Xbox One for America by
it's
America.
an
I saw
American
that picture.
company, and they advertise 24/7 on TV. They have that gaming community. They have those 20, 30 year olds that are just like, love football and want to drink a beer and play Halo. Like it's just that mentality. And Nintendo is a Japanese company. They cater to a completely different crowd. And how I got into that, I don't know, but I love it. I'll play a Tales of game way before I'd play Madden. So it just.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I think Nintendo is turning around. I think what I think happened is I think they saw that game trailers video. It was like the 10 things Nintendo's doing wrong because they addressed like 3 things from that video alone in that Nintendo Direct today. I don't know if you saw that. Game trailers did like
I'll have to look it up. Yeah.
but they did it
I
like a
tried
week
to.
ago and it got tons of views. It was all over the internet. But Game Trailers did like, look, we love Nintendo, but here's 10 reasons or 10 things Nintendo can do to fix themselves. And they were all extremely good points. And
I'll have to look that
literally,
up.
like, what, 2, 3 days later, Nintendo addresses like the major 3 right off the bat right there. And I'm just like, I really think they saw it because there's no way they didn't see it. I mean, that video was huge. Like, it got millions of views. And they definitely saw it.
They see a lot of that stuff. It's like one of the quotes from Bill Trenton recently about there was this big Super Smash Bros. Documentary
Mhm.
that came out
And they
on
retweeted it. And they
yeah,
knew
they
right.
retweeted it, and then Bill Trenton said regarding Sakurai, he said if it's on the internet and it's about Smash Bros, he knows about it. He probably knows about it. So it's like I'm pretty sure that probably goes for the majority of Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, look,
I
they
reckon it.
just got rich and they just got Autry, right? Okay, let's say Nintendo was completely oblivious before, apparently, which they weren't. But let's just say they were. Okay, those 2 people alone, now being in there, they know the industry. They would instantly be like, okay, we need to have a talk. I love you, Nintendo, but we need to have a talk. Here's some things you can definitely fix, like right now, and you would definitely like make way more money, and you would have a lot more people on your side right now. Let's get on it. And they'd be like, "Wow, I never thought about that," because we're dumb as fuck apparently. But like, even if they were the dumbest you could possibly be, like,
I still couldn't believe that Audrey was it.
yeah, that's really cool.
in the direct. I was like, I mean, I knew she was working for the
yeah, yeah,
Nintendo Treehouse or whatever, but it was still just sort of like out of left
yeah.
field, and I'm
It
just like,
just
oh, that's
as
funny.
homo as it sounds, it just made my heart all warm, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. And especially getting on camera too. And what I was thinking
Yeah,
about today too was like, man, her paycheck probably went a little up, like like especially getting camera time too. I mean, Nintendo is a big fucking company, like billions if not trillions. So I don't know.
yeah.
She may be making some dollars now.
We're a bit off topic, but yeah,
Yeah. um, but yeah, people are I think it's it. I think that's it. I think it's just a fanboy thing. I think it's just people are set on we need this console thing, and you could say the same with maybe us, maybe because I'm talking about Nintendo and stuff. But nah, I'm really not a fanboy. Like,
yeah,
I
exactly. Like
I enjoy
I'll
other.
play Xbox, and
I enjoy Sony. I mean, Xbox is sort of the weaker out of mine, just because they don't really have any good
yeah,
exclusives.
same.
That's the only thing. Like, if they had better exclusives, I'd be right there with them. It's another system. I don't care. The problem is
Sony's probably my
yeah.
strongest one, just because Kingdom Hearts, Ratchet and Clank, and that I really like. So
I mean, I love Gran Turismo. I do like Gran favorite things. I just love the Sony exclusive. I love Uncharted. I didn't play The Last of Us, but I fucking really want to. um, but they know how. I mean, Killzone. People don't like. I'm really not big into the shooters, or I mean, I am. I play them on my computer, but I've never been like hardcore into it. Like I've been Smash Brothers or something, right? But I played the hell out of Killzone 2 on PS3, like a ton. Like that multiplayer was the funnest multiplayer I've ever played in a shooter. I'm telling you, it had nothing to do because it was on PS3. That multiplayer was insanely well crafted in terms of how they did the class system and how they did. Like I don't know, like I and other people have I've heard my friend like he's a huge Xbox sort of not huge Xbox guy, but he's always had an Xbox and he'll get a PS3 and then end up trading and stuff like that. And he just has that whole community with the Xbox and he's big into. But even he's like, I mean, Killzone 2, like multiplayer is like, I don't know, like, I think people know of it and they do enjoy it, but it needs to be definitely marketed more in terms of like a really great multiplayer shooter because it is. The modes are just great and the maps are amazing. Anyway, but a big thing with like Nintendo has the 3DS and it sells ginormously right now. It's like 3 or 4 times what a PS3 is right now, and I don't think people actually realize the sales numbers of that. But what I was saying is like the whole like we're smartphones are going to take over. We're going to have tablets now, and handheld gaming
yeah,
is just going to go to the fucking wayside. And
Doom
that
sales.
no, I mean that definitely would have been the case if it wasn't for Nintendo. But I mean, look at the PSP. Look at even with the Vita and stuff like that. It's not selling because what it is. I mean, the problem with that console and handheld, it's just a downscaled console version of the PS3. That's all it is,
Yeah,
or the PS4.
they
The 3DS
all the
is a
games.
different experience. It's not a
Yeah,
downgraded console. It's actually a whole new experience you have in the palm of your hand. Like
yeah,
there's a
that's
huge
the
difference
thing I've
there.
always thought the Vitas had a problem with, is that they tried to make a, they keep on trying to make it a console, like console games on the handheld, but
Why not
when
play
you're
it on the
playing a
console?
console game, you want to play it on your big screen TV. It's like, some of the big launch titles for that thing included a lot of fighting games like Mortal Kombat and like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, and it's like, if I want to play those, I want to play those on the big screen with my mates,
I mean,
all
it's
together.
kind of cool to be able to play like on the go of like a big console experience. I mean, that is kind of cool, but it's not that punch that like Nintendo. I'm telling you, like it's not a downgraded version of the Wii U. It isn't. It's a
Yeah,
completely different system altogether, and it has completely different features that the Wii U doesn't have. And it's a huge community base just around that. I mean, being able to
yeah,
like
exactly.
again driving my car and I pass by another car that has Mario Kart as well, and I'm getting their ghost track data so I can instantly see, hey, am I better than that stupid retard I just flew by in my vehicle. I wonder if I am. I load up Mario Kart and I play their Ghost Date, and I realize, oh my god, that guy's like legitly pro that I just passed. I need to go and talk to him now. But
Although that would I can see that getting tired. It's like you just like follow the person, and
yeah,
it's like just like some like
whip the car out,
ten,
like just follow them home, and then they finally get out of the car, and I'm like, dude, no, I need to meet you. Like, what? How the fuck did you get like a 41-second on that? Like, um,
it's like
that's like near impossible. And he's like, yeah, dude, and he like pulls it out, and it's some like weird hack shit. And it's just like, yeah, you hit the ramp at this left angle here, and it makes you anyway. It shaves off 10 seconds immediately. I don't know. Anyway, but that can happen. Like that's such a weird experience. That's never happened in gaming before. Being able to that alone little feature. I mean, it's huge. It's not a small little thing. A little tack on little gimmick. It changes gameplay completely. And if you were in Japan right now, that's how people really think. Like if you watch games like TV shows and they talk about something like that, the crowd's going wild and they're like freaking out. And they're like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" But here we're just like, "Oh, gimmick, oh, dumb thing. I'm never gonna use it." Next thing you know, I have 140 fucking street tags on my 3DS, and I'm just like, "Holy shit, this thing's amazing!" Um,
yeah,
and being able to play like and it's not downgraded version like Fire Emblem Awakening. It's not a downgraded version of a Wii version. If anything, it's better. Like, it I don't know. It's just completely different games, completely different experience, and it's actually meant
yeah,
for handheld. Like that's the thing. It's not like, oh, here's a console experience, but you can play it on the go. This is, oh, I can play for 5 minutes while I have some spare time sort of aspect. But not all games are like that either. It's not like they're all just sort of mini game compilation, oh, just quick time thing. Again, like you have a huge experience like Tales of the Abyss or Pokemon or Kingdom Hearts or Fire Emblem or any of these things, you can dev hours into like insanely, or Mario Kart 7 and
yeah,
playing competitively. And I play Pokemon ranked battles. It's like I can sit there and just swipe through one after the other, after the other, after the other. And I mean, I'm in a city in the game, right? I'm in the city in the game, and on the bottom you see little pass buyers, right? And it's anyone who's in that city from anywhere in the world, right? So I'm in a certain city in there, and let's say I see someone from Australia in the same city as a pass buyer, and I click them, I can do voice chat with them. I can send them a battle request, a trade request. I can give them this O power thing. There's like 6 options I can do with a single person from anywhere in the world, right? On the fly, right there. Like I don't like that's incredible. That has never been able to be achieved into the 3DS ever.
yeah,
Like it's that's a huge feature. Like that definitely. And then like I have somebody added on my friends list. They come over to the house. They pop. Oh, he's near you right now. Even if you're not connected online, because he's near you, you can just straight up do whatever you would do if it was an online feature. But just him being near you with his little system. And
yeah,
talking to him voice chat. So I'm just like, hey, get on Pokemon, and then go into a battle, voice chat with him the whole time. And I mean, I don't know. It's and it's just small little things. Like they definitely think and know what they're doing. And like I just other companies don't even think about this stuff. Like it's like Nintendo's on acid and every other company isn't. Like how do they even come up with these things? Like, oh, I want to play a video game, but I'm tired of having to share things with my TV. Like, and yeah, people think that, but do they think about like, holy shit, just give the TV in my fucking hands? Like, like I don't know. Like, you don't think that's that big of a revolution, but the first person to think of that, it was. Like, and it changed the fucking ball game because of it. Just like the little fucking dumbass waggle of the Wii, but when they actually improved it, got the Wii Motion Plus, and like one on one actually like perfectly, that's a big thing. Like, anyway,
yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know. Nintendo does definitely deliver, and they sell because of it. People, it what Nintendo doesn't make money? Bullshit. They make way more money than these other companies do. Look at Nintendo sales number and compare them to anyone else, the Xbox or PS3. That 3DS alone outsells any of that shit. Like, and then whatever Wii U sells, they still make sales on the Wii. they have so much money. They're making so much money. It's not even funny. But oh, apparently they're not popular. How are they not popular? But they have more sales. Obviously, they are more popular if they have the sell figures to show it.
Yeah.
It's people being fanboys. It's people being, oh, I love Xbox. So anything outside of it, oh, they suck dick, and I have no.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Okay,
have to.
okay, awesome.
I'm gonna have to finish up.
Okay, but the Wii U is finally starting to get games now. A lot of really awesome games coming along here. Can't wait,
Yeah,
and
in the
it's gonna
next
sell. The very moment Smash Brothers hits, the very moment the next Mario Kart hits, okay, they will sell
the
like
moment
fucking
the new
crazy.
Mario World
The
hits.
the the Evo tournament, the fighting tournament, Melee's 12 years old. Okay, it made like 4 times more money than the other games combined. Like there was like Street Fighter 4 and all these like Marvel's
Yeah,
Capcom 3 and stuff like that. But there was more people that Smash Brothers Melee than there was any other. And this year, and that just goes to show when Smash Brothers comes out, okay, all those people like there, there's way more people that's gonna get Smash Brothers than the next Marvel vs. Capcom. That's what I'm getting at. That
yeah,
system's gonna sell like fucking hotcakes, easily. And there you go,
it will.
one. Anyway,
Yeah,
Nintendo has nothing to worry about. People are freaking out like crazy. Oh, Nintendo's done. The Wii U's done. It's not. It's gonna sell like crazy.
they
People are
said that
gonna have
about
it.
the 3DS as well.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's the same thing. Consoles always have bad launches.
Yeah. It happened. Yeah, it doesn't have the specs of the PS4 and Xbox One. And if you want those specs, go get one of those systems. No one's telling you not to. Like, get out of your little bubble range. You don't just have to lock yourself in one corner and hate everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, all right. I'll see you. The video actually went on 53 minutes and actually probably was like really good. And anyway,
Thanks. No worries.
I'll see you, bro. Oh, I'll edit this, upload it up, and hopefully you'll get views. Even if it doesn't, like I just keep doing these, even if it's just myself or I get anyone else. Hey, better be it.
Yeah, it's just
But
yeah, just post, and I'll try and share the video around to places.
yeah. All right.
Anyway, I'll catch you later.
See.
Bye.
Start. Just say something right now. I'm curious if I get your audio. Just go blah 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 blah. It doesn't matter. No, I seriously was like laughing really hard. I'm like, what the fuck?